302 NBA players tested on June 23rd. 16 tested positive for the coronavirus. That's 5.3% of the players. Of course, the release goes on to say any player who tested positive will remain in self-isolation until he satisfies public health protocols for discontinuing isolation and has been cleared by a physician. With that news, we also welcome in Philadelphia 76ers forward Tobias Harris to the show, joining Stephen A. and Max. And Tobias, I want to start with you. With this information about the 16 players in your league testing positive, what's your reaction?
Well, it's not surprising. I think, as you look around the world with cases continuing to rise now, so you're going to see an increase of cases, even with guys in our league. So the biggest thing for us is just to make sure that we're put in a situation where we can be healthy and we can go out and do our job and play. Yeah, that's how I kind of look at it. It wasn't surprising, the number, to hear about it. So, yeah.
Tobias, always good to see you, my brother. Let me ask you this question. The pandemic is one issue. The social justice movement is another issue. But those are two obviously very viable reasons in the eyes of a lot of players not to be playing basketball this summer. What are your positions regarding both issues?
So, yeah, I think the two you just touched on was COVID-19, our health, our safety, and then everything going along in the world. We're pushing the message of Black Lives Matter, equality, police brutality are both two things for me that I'm heavily concerned about. So with the bubble, with Orlando, as a player, as a man, as myself, I have to know that I'm healthy, that I'm okay with going out there, and that I'm not going to be put at a high risk. And on top of that, I also have to take the responsibility as a leader of my team and as a player in the NBA to continue to push the message of what we want overall for the African-American community, and that's change. And we have to use our platforms as players when we go to Orlando to continue to push this message.
Yeah. Excuse me, Max, for 1 second, but Tobias, what I'm asking, I got that.
Sure.
What I'm asking specifically is, do you support going ahead and playing regardless of those concerns? I'm not telling you to shove aside those concerns. Those concerns are going to still be legit. But there are some players who don't believe we should be playing. Do you believe you should be playing?
I would say that's a tough one for me to answer. I would say that if we're going to be safe, then let's play. If the league, if my fellow brothers in the NBA want to go out and play, I'm with playing. I know my teammates, they want to go hoop, so I'm with my team to go hoop. Do I think necessarily it's the safest thing? No. Like, that's just straight up and down. I don't think it's the safest thing. When you look around the world, the cases continue to rise. But that's also on the NBA to make sure we're in a safe environment. So that would be my best way to answer that question.
I put myself in your shoes, Tobias, in a player's shoes. And I think on the one hand, entering a bubble where everyone's tested multiple times, so 5% of the league has it right now of those tested, if that remained flat, like around 5%, on the one hand, I think, okay, maybe I'm safer here because they'll be able to isolate where the virus is, right? Locate it, isolate it, trace it. And so maybe it's safer than just normal life. On the other hand, I'm on the court in close physical proximity to other people and sometimes having to body up against guys, less now in the NBA than back in the day, but still. So it's more dangerous in that respect. Do you see that environment as being a higher risk or lower risk situation than living your life outside that environment?
Being on a court with 10 guys on a court at one time, I mean, obviously the NBA is putting in a protocol that guys can't play if they have COVID-19 symptoms or if they have the coronavirus. So technically, if you're out there on the court and no one has it, then you should be good, right? But I'm also with what you said too. It's like if I go to the grocery store and I'm walking around and there's a bunch of people in there, how much safer really are you? So at the end of the day, that's where I think there's this fine line of information that's out that we're getting feed from the government, et cetera, that it's like, this unpredictable area of what we know right now. So that's the toughest thing for me.
Tobias, I've known you for years, and obviously I know how smart you are and how in tune you are to a lot of different issues. So I'll ask you this question. As of right now, how do you answer folks who question, are the players playing because they are anxious to get on the court again and hoop? Or are they playing to make sure that they don't position themselves or position the owners to have the license to reopen that collective bargaining agreement, thereby ensuring that, you're going to continue to get your money moving forward and the owners ain't going to try to rip up the agreement and try to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement? What is the reason the players are playing basketball this summer?
We're playing for the future of our league. Like, we're playing to make sure that salary cap and that the force majeure doesn't happen, and that's why we're playing. We're playing for the years ahead of this game to make sure that our league and our game and just our business of basketball continues to push forward. Guys want to hoop anywhere. I mean, that's just plain and fact. Like, guys want to hoop, but at the end of the day, right now, the big picture is if we don't play, this is what's going to happen to our league. This is what's going to happen to our salary cap. This is the ramifications that can be made going forward. That's how I stand on it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.